In this lesson, we're going to be looking at circle problems. Our objective is to understand how to use circumference formula to solve problems. Basically, we're going to be looking at how we can use a circumference problem, or formula, circumference, diameter, pi, all these things to solve problems that deal either in the real world or likewise, and find out what's going on based off of that relationship. So key vocabulary here is pi. If you don't have this one written down or you've forgotten it, look it up, remind yourself. So what I've done is I've taken a basic problem from our book, an example, and kind of written it out, and I'm going to take you through how we would solve this and figure out what's going on. So here's the problem. What speed must Phileas Fogg's hot air balloon average to circumnavigate, circumnavigate means to go around the circle, the equator in 80 days? So we've all heard about around the world in 80 days. The idea here is what speed would that hot air balloon have to average to make it around the equator in 80 days? Well, to do this we need to understand a circle, and we need to know the diameter of that circle, because this is our equator right here, that's the circle, and the diameter of that equator will help us figure out the circumference of the equator. So we know that the equator's diameter is about 8,000 miles. Alright, so we're going to use that to figure everything else out. For me to solve a problem, what I like to do is I like to write out everything I know, everything I need to know, and then what type of answer I'm looking for in reality. So what we know is we know that the diameter, d, is 8,000 miles, and the time is 80 days. What we need to know is, instead of the diameter, we need the circumference, and instead of in days, we need the time in hours. So I want to convert each of these into the other. And then our end answer, we want to end up as the speed in miles per hour, because that's how we usually measure speed. So I'm going to go through this process. Well, circumference equals diameter times pi. So we've got to take the diameter, 8,000, times pi. Instead of pi, I'm going to use 3.14, our rounded version of pi. And the reason for that is I don't want pi in the answer, I want a rounded answer that I can kind of work with. So I'm going to take my calculator and go 8,000 times 3.14, and I'm going to get 25,120 miles. So now I know that the circumference is 25,120 miles. I need time, which is in days, into hours. Well, 1 day equals 24 hours, so if I have 80 days, I'm going to take days times hours, and I should have the total number of hours. So 80 times 24, again, take my calculator, 80 times 24, that's going to give me 1,920. And then my answer needs to be miles per hour. So miles, the word per just means divide. So we're going to take circumference divided by time, 25,120 over 1920. So if I divide that out, I should have the answer in miles per hour. So type it into the calculator, hit equal, and it looks like it is about 13.083. The 3 repeats forever. So I'm just going to round this to the nearest mile per hour. We're going to say that this is about 13 miles per hour. So this Phileas would have to go at about 13 miles per hour to circumnavigate the equator in 80 days. So not really fast, but for a hot air balloon, probably moving pretty good. Alright, if there's anything that you missed or you need to see again, make sure you pause, rewind, and rewatch, and bring any questions to class, as you're going to be doing problems similar to this on your own.